Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. You made it to the end of the week, and I hope you are ready for the weekend. And I don't know what plans you have. Simpiwe will tell us what her plans are in a minute. She's probably got some. And if you don't have any plans yet, you still got some time to figure it out because you still got the whole of Friday ahead of you. How fantastic. And it is, like, this morning's a little chilly, but it's not cold. I'm not going to complain.
No, the sun's going to come out.
I think so.
So I'll be fine.
The sun will come out tomorrow. All right. So I see the comment section's already alive and well this morning. I see my good friend Brendon Peel is on today. How exciting, says Congo Chris. Uh-oh. Cancel the guest. If they're a friend of Congo Chris, they're not allowed in the building. That sounds dangerous. Sounds very, very dodgy. Tell us what you got up to. Get into the comments. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe on this Friday morning. What's happening, Sims? What do you got planned for the weekend?
Wow, today is PH's birthday. And he's going to be celebrating by hosting Pola on Sunday. So that's where I'm going to be.
That sounds awesome. Where is it this weekend?
It's in Newtown.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it's something.
You'd have to drive to like Nelspruit or something.
Oh, hell no. Okay. And it's an all-white party. And so.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be there. And the rest of the team will be there.
Very good.
That's
are you also going, Flex, James? Yeah. For the vibes, eh? For the vibes. James is always looking out for the vibes. Very good. Ben will not be in the studio this morning, but he'll call in a little later on so we can catch up on a little bit of sport. But it is, Heritage Month. So we spent Wednesday morning with a guy from Joburg Heritage, which I thought was quite interesting because it reminded me, like, everywhere you go, there are things that you don't know that you could learn about that are fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to make the effort just to get up and decide you're going to do something rather than not do something. And your day will be filled up with cool shit.
That's true.
And that's what we're going to do today also, fill up your day with cool shit. So we've got that Brendon Peel who's coming in later on. He's going to keep us entertained in the last bit of the show this morning. Why are you laughing?
I mean, should be interesting.
Oh, yeah, but I want to know why you're laughing.
No, it's just like interesting.
Okay. She's holding back on us. He is an internationally recognized rising star in the art of magic and illusion.
That's why I was laughing. So, I don't know. I'm a skeptic when it comes to magic.
I am too, but the poor guy is going to come in and try with us anyway.
Okay.
But he is, he's just got back from a very successful performance on Britain's Got Talent, where he wowed the judges and even ended up making Britain's Got Talent history as one of the craziest acts ever seen on the show. So this guy's not like some schlub who goes, pick a card, any card, and then like pulls out the card that you thought you chose. He goes, you weren't sure, but you thought you chose, at some party when everyone's drunk. This guy can actually do stuff. So He's going to tell us about the art of magic and illusion. Maybe he'll give us a few of the secrets.
Maybe.
You never know.
Maybe convert me.
Yeah. What does it say up there? My biggest flex is me.
Of course.
That's Simpiwe's hat. All right. So let's get started. There's quite a lot going on in the news. I see, by the way, Brazil have banned X. So
it's about time.
But I mean, are you happy about that?
No, I just see that's the wave. A lot of countries where the government likes to control what people consume.
Mm-hmm.
Platforms like X are just gonna get.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's happening.
It's about time. I'm not surprised. If it was the USA, I'd be like, oh, wait, what?
Well, I mean, there are people in the US, believe it or not, who think this is great. There are Americans who are cheering this on. The guy who's in charge of prosecutions in the state of, which one is it now? I mustn't get this wrong. It's not Missouri. Is it Missouri? Minnesota.
Okay.
A guy called Keith Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
And he, by the way, James, the speaker's giving us a bit of noise. He is very, very anti-Twitter because he doesn't like Elon Musk. He's got a different political agenda. And he reckons it's right that governments should tell people what they can and can't say. And I am on the opposite side of that. I'm like, you know how you combat horrible speech or hate speech or speech that you don't like? With more speech. So if someone says, well, fuck you, you don't go, You shouldn't be allowed to say that, and shut them down forever. Because believe it or not, like, I hate to say this to people who haven't realized this yet, but in their heads, they're still saying, fuck you. They're just not saying it anymore. Even if you're powerful enough to control their activities, to ban them, to lock them up, to have them executed, you can't stop what they think in their heads.
Yes.
Right? So
that's true.
I don't understand this this desire some people have to control other people's speech, to control the way other people say and do things. You can't get into my head, and therefore you can't police my head. Am I right?
That is very true.
Okay, so I think we're both on the same side of this. I don't also care if you like Elon Musk or you don't. I don't care if you agree with him or you don't. Most people who are on X are saying what they think. They're not saying what Elon thinks.
That is very
true. If you
true.
happen to agree with him like I do on a couple of things, awesome. But if you don't, too bad. He's not going to shut you down. He allows people to criticize him directly on his own platform, which, let me tell you, I don't think most of us have the strength of character to be able to put up with that. I don't know if I was in charge of X, whether I would be as open-minded, magnanimous, I'd be as tolerant. I don't know that I have those powers. And the only way you can be sure that you're on the right side of this argument is that you're not telling other people what to do. It's this authoritarian impulse that bothers me. So the guy in Brazil who's banned X is this, he looks like Voldemort.
Oh my god.
Have you seen the pictures?
Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh.
Guys, see if you can find a picture of the Brazilian judge who just got X banned. He is a scary looking motherfucker. And that's not the most important thing about him, obviously. If he looked great, it would still make him an asshole for banning X, which is probably the freest platform in the whole world right now.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we're on YouTube often. Sometimes YouTube will tell us that we said something they don't approve of, or they'll demonetize a video, or they'll say we're in copyright infringement, or whatever they have to do to get the content to the state that they want it in. Because it's, you know, it's the platform we use. So their rules, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not as free as X. On X, you can post anything you want, except the obvious things, like you can't call for violence.
Yeah, but you can clearly post porn. Like, yo.
Hasn't X become like the main channel for porn?
Yes, it has. Like, you be scrolling and every other...
There's the guy.
Oh my gosh, he's so
How's
scary.
that guy, huh?
I think he got into trouble with his wife as he was scrolling one day, and like one of those very risque videos came up, and then he was just like, you know what? I'm banning this.
Yeah, there has to be a personal reason for someone like that. But he's a real authoritarian.
Sure.
Apparently has connections all over the police. Yeah, all over the rest of the court system. He is the one who banned Jair Bolsonaro, who was the former president of Brazil. You meant he was that like right of center guy. He and Trump got on really well. This guy doesn't like either of them. So he just banned the former president from ever entering an election again for 8 years.
Hectic.
So he thinks he's very important.
What is his agenda? What does he want to achieve in life? Hey?
And let me ask you this. Why is he so powerful that he can make these calls? Like, you shouldn't be able to, like, isn't democracy about the people deciding who they want to be their president? Isn't democracy about the people going to vote? Not one judge deciding who will and won't be on the ballot. Yes, am I wrong?
I'm a bit surprised about like this man. I actually should like read up about him, because that's scary, you know.
I don't know,
because
he
has his own agenda, and he's like, I might not be president, but I'm the one running this country.
Correct, that's him.
That is scary.
All right, an attack on online speech in the UK is crazy. Facebook, this is Dirk Coetzee says this, Facebook facilitated wars and is the champion of fake news, but no one is shutting them down. Yeah, in the UK now, if you say certain things about immigrants,
oh my word,
the police come to your door, they knock on your door, they say, excuse me, are you Simpiwe Mtetwa? You're like, yeah. Did you post this offensive tweet? And then they show you your offensive hate tweet, which is like you saying, actually, I don't want to pay for immigrants anymore. Right? You're out. Sorry, straight to jail. They're going to investigate you and all that kind of shit. So Dirk knows what he's talking about. YouTube will demonetize your video, but still collect ad revenues from ads shown in your video. Yes, that's true. You can't do anything about that. Mig says, Simpiwe looks either like a bookie or a quantum taxi driver this morning. Is that a bad thing? Do you think you look like a quantum taxi driver?
I don't want to look like a quantum taxi driver.
I think it's the cap.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
That's what it
caps.
is.
Yeah.
Putella says, I heard Elon Musk has an army of bots who attack you online when you criticize him. Well, if they're bots,
I mean,
who care? Why? Again.
But he takes the piss out of everything though. Like not even, I've seen him like.
Yeah, he's having fun.
Yes, like with tweets about AI about him and he'll be like, oh, that's actually funny. And he's just having a good time. It's like X is whatever you want to make it. If you want a political timeline, you can have that. If you want something fun, if you just want porn on there, your timeline can just be that. So people must just relax. You know?
Right.
Relax.
And if you don't want that stuff, you know what you can do? Not use Twitter.
Once.
You know?
But don't ban me from
No, this is the point.
It.
So let's say, for example, someone really, really doesn't like this show. Then my question is, well, why are you watching us? Why are you listening to us? Like, you've got a ton of other things to watch and listen to that are much more boring. You don't have to come here.
True.
We don't have to make everything sanitized for you. Like, get out of your own asshole. Stop thinking you're the center of the universe. If that's what you do, you go around telling everyone else how they should behave in your life. You're not the main character in the story of Earth.
No, you're not. Maybe in your life, but not here.
Who do you think you are? I'm not even the main character in my fucking show. I mean, like, some mornings it's definitely Simpiwe's show, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Yes,
I mean, I need to also shine.
Right. Ooh, so Bitcoin has a bakery, right? He says, I baked 4 breads already. Number 5 and 6 are in the oven. 8 more to go.
Oh, what is he baking?
Ooh, but don't you love the smell of a bakery in the morning? Yo, that's the best smell. So up
and
the
then when
road.
the bread comes out and it just smells so good. So the route I take from the office to home, I off ramp, and there's like the Albany a bakery factory there. It always smells like, I'm like, oh, I could just put some bread right now. And you just put some butter on it when it's still hot, and it's just, oh.
So you know they say if you're trying to sell your house, that you should bake bread.
Really?
Because apparently when people smell that, no matter where, what culture, how old, young, whatever, that when they smell baking bread, I mean, you've got to obviously do a good job, don't burn it.
Yeah, of course.
But if you bake bread, it makes people feel like it's homely and that they feel safe and they feel comfortable, and the whole thing just gets them feeling, oh, I want to live here. So yeah, if you're ever selling your house, that's someone said that to me once. I don't know if it's true, but it could be, because I love the smell of baked bread in the morning. So Bitcoin Butts, I know that you're probably sick of it because of what you do every day, but let me tell you, there's a little garage up the way here, and I sometimes go and get coffee there, and it's at 5 a.m. They're obviously busy.
Yes.
And the ovens are all on and the bread's coming out of there. Oh, it smells so
That's
good.
when, you're getting something super fresh and soft, and then it's crisp on the outside. Ooh.
If I went there every day, I'd be so fat. I would be so unbelievably fat. You would hear me from a mile away. I'd show up on the Richter scale. Fuck. George Meany. I saw George Meany yesterday. Hey, George. I saw George yesterday. We actually went for a coffee, and I had a little catch up with George, who is, of course, the CEO of Auto Trader, and he's one of the people who is this show. Like, some days it's George's show, right? He's the main character on the show.
Can I just say I'm a bit jealous because you don't do the Friday show anymore. You'll come on and be on the Monday show. Like,
are you feeling neglected?
Yes, I am. Like, Borge, was the Friday show people that gave you that name.
So George actually was telling me about, like, property, because he knows a lot more about this than I do, and he was saying you got to make the bid if you want to sell your house. Can you imagine? And by the way, I saw this when I had a property that was on the market. So I was looking at what other people were selling. And you can't help yourself. It's like with Auto Trader, which George has. You go on and you look at other cars. You look at the most expensive ones. Yes. You look at the cheapest ones. You kind of figure out what's going on in the market, right? Because you are in the market for it, maybe. Maybe you're buying or selling a car. if you're buying or selling a house, you look around, and what you find is that there are some people who take pictures of their house, but it is an untidy mess. Now, that's bad enough, but they share those pictures on the site where they want to sell or rent their property. And I'm like, surely you could tidy that up.
Yes. Isn't the whole aim is to put your best foot forward?
You would think.
You know, even with your house, you clean it up.
You'll
make sure that linen that has a hole in it, it doesn't show. You would make sure that even if, I don't know, like a 3 small bedroom house looks like a 5 luxury.
Yes.
Like you just want to sell like something that looks amazing and bigger than what it is. And then when I actually get there, I get disappointed. I'll be like, okay.
I don't know how anyone could have. It's just like such a thick skin. The idea that you would put your house on the market and you'd take a picture of your bedroom with your bed that's like unmade. You know, like marks on the sheets and the pillows.
Please.
You got like, what's going on? This is disgusting. You don't do that. Have some pride. Raven says you got to mix some vanilla essence and water in a little dish in the oven, and it smells like you're baking cookies. Okay, so that's the hack.
Okay.
For like, you don't have to actually bake, because I wouldn't know how to. I would burn down my house if I baked anything. But if you do this, a little bit of vanilla essence and some water in a dish in the oven, smells like you're baking cookies. A tip I once got from an estate agent when you sell your house. You see, so I wasn't making it up. It didn't just come from nowhere.
Okay.
I love that. Mig says, turn off the Outlook received mail sound, please. Was it me or was it you? It was you guys. Okay, sure. Well, watch out, because Miggs is very angry this morning. He's on the rampage.
Oh.
Tracy says, from time to time, I will photograph houses for estate agents. Holy shit, some houses or properties are just a hot mess, she says. Banana peels under the couches. Dusty curtains, dirty windows, dishes everywhere.
Guys, no. What happened to like doing a spring clean when someone's coming to your house? What happened to just making sure that the house looks good, is good? Like some people even clean up before their helpers come in because they're like, I don't want them to see it like this dirty. Hey, now someone's taking pictures that will live for like a really long time.
Congo Chris says, if you just put some potassium in a dish of water, it creates a lovely atmosphere and an explosion. But I get you. Don't worry. Congo Chris, full of bad ideas this morning. Rather follow Raven's advice. Here we go. Here's George with some useful info for you for this morning. Friday car selling tip. Selling privately at the moment is flying. If you want to sell, now is the time. So there's a guy who knows about the car business. So if you want to sell a car today, he says, sell it today. So thanks, George. See why he's useful to have around.
Yes.
Amazing. Dr. Robin says, I once saw an ad for a house. The photo was of a teeny tiny guest toilet, not even a spectacular loo. Not sure if they ever sold it.
Yeah. There's someone desperate out there.
Well,
you know, that's the reality. So.
I mean, on the list of things that you are looking for in your next house, aren't all toilets just toilets, just toilets, just toilets?
No.
Like they all...
No.
There are bad ones?
Yes.
And there are great ones?
Yes.
Like, okay, tell me the difference. I thought all white porcelain...
I guess let's start off with like just, I think the size of the toilet, right? Or the restroom, right? The size of it, especially
of the room itself. Okay,
right? Plays a role.
That I get.
And then also in the house context, right? So if the shower's right there and the toilet's right there, it's just like, oh no, like this is
or you can't open the door fully because it like bumps
it makes
again.
It makes it just be like,
okay.
No,
bad.
I don't want this. I really don't. But what I've also seen is that they've started separating the toilet with the showers and whatnot, which is really nice. I like that because then you can have someone go to use the restroom and then someone take a shower and no one is...
They don't have to be in
the same... They don't have to... Yes.
Someone take a big shit while you're in the shower. That's what you're worried about, Simpiri. You can just say it. She's being all diplomatic this morning. I don't know why. But yes, I don't know why anyone would want to share a bathroom with someone who's actively taking a shit. You see, it even made her cough. She's so disgusted. There are couples who do that. Like,
No.
Yes, I know.
I don't get it.
I know.
I don't get it. Like, can I have my privacy?
Simpiwe,
Can I
know
just have my
you're gonna
privacy?
hate this. I love telling this story, but because it's absolutely true. I know a couple. Okay, they've been together probably about 10 years. They are very comfortable with if one is in the shower and the other one is on the toilet. They are happy with that. Now, I am single. I have been for the last 3 years or so. Okay, let me tell you something. I will never love someone so much. I will never want a relationship with someone that I love to ever get to the point where we're comfortable doing that. It's disgusting.
It's just.
And if you are one of those people, this doesn't mean that you're like more intimate or more relaxed around each other. We get each other. We know each other well. I've had this argument with this very couple I spoke to. They're not better than other couples. They are just freaky, weird people who have no sense of dignity.
Yeah, like, can we just have a line, guys?
Look, Simpiwe is making lines.
Yeah, can we just have and because I stay with my gran, and she sometimes has a tendency of just barging in, and it's just like, whoa, man, can you please just exit?
That's not right.
Just, I'll be with you. Like, give me 2 more minutes. So for me, it's just one of those where that's my line. We can do a lot of things together, but not share the restroom when I'm in it. Like, nope. No, my space is my space. And when I'm done, it's your space afterwards.
So, common sense in the comments. Comment says, we wanted a house that was on show. We saw there were other offers. So I took a dump in the reception toilet and did not flush. And that did help.
You're disgusting.
No, no, but that is a surefire way of putting off the other buyers, right? Clever. That is strategy.
No. Because now people think the toilet doesn't work or like there's something going on. Don't do that nonsense.
Dirk says, my wife and I have different toilets and different bathrooms. Does make a difference and has probably saved our marriage a few times.
Yes.
Okay. I also know a different couple now, who have been happily married for probably about 20 years. And they are, they like any other couple, nothing's perfect. They fight occasionally. They will argue with each other, but they're happy. They genuinely like each other. They got some kids. And it's not, I would say, superior to anyone else, but they have a rule. Their rule is separate bathroom for him and her. And they never fight about stuff like that. Also, they have rules about like not arguing before you go to bed at night.
Okay.
You never go to bed angry, they said.
Okay.
So I would follow their advice rather than the take a shit in front of people advice. Although while we're on something lavatorial, this is funny. A friend of mine has gone overseas and he's renting out his flat.
Ooh.
So another friend of mine who's a bit of a maniac upset him horribly the other night and said to him, while you're away and trying to rent your flat out, I'm going to go in and do an upper decker. You know what an upper decker is?
The number 2, I guess.
That's
on another
much
level.
Worse than that.
Okay.
James, Flex, do you know what an upper decker is? Okay. So an upper decker, this is a truly terrible thing to go on Common Sense. That's what made me think of it. Common Sense's comment about taking it up. So an upper decker is I don't know who came up with this, not my idea. You take the top off the back of the toilet. You know the thing that the cistern that the water's in?
Okay, I'm with you.
Where the flush thing, the mechanism is. And it's got that plunger that holds it in and then refills with water after you flush.
Going.
An upper decker is what I suppose like a frat guy would do to punish his roommate or someone he hated. It's like a very juvenile thing to do. But you take a shit in the top part of the toilet. And then people, because it'll take them a very long time to realize what's happened. So you would arrive at your house.
Horrible.
And you'd go, that's a funny smell.
Oh, that's horrible.
And you'd go to the toilet and you'd flush it and the water would be brown and you'd be like, there must be something wrong with my plumbing. Maybe there's a sewage leak. But then it would fill up again and refreshen the turd.
Oh, that's
So there we go. You've learned something truly horrible this morning, right?
I didn't need to know that.
Upper Decker.
Oh.
Bitcoin Boot knows about this, says it's the ultimate comeback. Do you know what waffle stomping is?
Oh,
I don't listen.
If it's disgusting, I don't want to know what that is. Can I keep my innocence, please?
Yeah, I don't want to know either. Not yet. We've already had the Upper Decker this morning. Let's not have more than that, okay? Cully says, my brother and his friends used to do an Upper Decker in the hostel. Like, fuck, man, you live there. That is horrific. That is terrible. Dirk says you do that in the boss's toilet, in the executive toilet on your last day. There's an executive toilet?
You guys.
No, but like, let me ask you a question, Dirk. You have an executive toilet in your building? Who do you work for? Government? Because you can imagine like government. Like the president has his own bathroom that no one else is allowed to use. Hey?
Yeah, and then like you, just the rebel, like
imagine you go in there, Upper Decker the president, and Cyril's like, "Where's my iPad? I don't know who stole my iPad. What is that terrible smell? Oh, can we get someone in here to look at what the problem is? I had a meeting with the president of Brazil just now. He's banning Twitter. I'm going to ban people from shitting." That'd be terrible. Can you imagine? XR says, please, can we move on? All right. We'll move on. We'll move on. Oh, good. We're just in time for Ben. Jesus, you telling me we talked about filthy stuff like that for a whole half hour?
Yes, we did.
Wow,
and I'm traumatized.
This show needs help.
I'm traumatized.
We need a psychiatrist. Oh, wait, we got Dr. Hanan on a Monday. So luckily for you, we'll be with our psychologist on Monday. And Dr. Hanan returns. For those who missed him this week, you see what happens when he goes away for a week?
Yeah, we talk about upper deckers now. Gosh.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so humiliated. All right, let's go to Ben, who's live. Oh, there he is on the screen.
Ooh.
Hello, Ben. What the hell's going on there? It looks like you're in a gym or something.
No, I'm at the airport. I'm going to George.
Ah, aeroporto. Listen, that George flight's very expensive. You must be going to do something important.
It's a bachelor weekend, so we're going to play golf. It'd be great if this woman could stop talking behind me. She's not saying anything important. Gareth, I'm going to go play golf. So we're staying at Kingswoods with some friends. It's part of a bachelor weekend because someone's entrusted me to actually be the MC at a wedding next month.
Oh, okay. You got roped into that. I know that feeling.
Yeah. I know you know that feeling.
Is that woman interested in being part of the show?
She literally just...
There's a woman who just went, who looked into the shot like she wanted to, she really wanted to be in the show.
Sure. Well, you know me, guys, sport and tunnies, that's kind of me.
All right, so Ben, tell us, because I know your time is going to be limited, but give us an idea of what we can look forward to. Oh, good. Okay. Well, tell us what's
guys,
sport.
Another fantastic weekend because, of course, this is kind of, I wouldn't say the end of the rugby championship, but if we beat the All Blacks this weekend, we kind of close it out. We sort of have an unassailable lead with 2 tests against Argentina. So it's all on this one. I know last week was really a lot of fun, and it was great to go get hammered, go at his park, shout and scream. But this will be more of a traditional test match. So I think it'll be a lot like lower in score. So I think combined last week was like more than 60. I think the test match combined score this week will be more like 50. It's going to be a slower game. So Russie made 5 changes to bring in more sort of controlled and precise players like Billy LaRue and Andre Pollard. And the All Blacks also made 5 changes too. And the weird thing about that is they've taken their best number 9 and 10 and they've put them on the bench. So they've got an idea that they want to sort of close the game out better because last week they were shite. The last 20 minutes they scored 0 points. And ultimately they completely screwed up a 10-point lead. So I'm going to say the Boks by 9 because I think this team's going to click in a more sort of, regular sort of environment. Ellis Park's very emotional. There's a lot of pressure. It's just a weird place. Yeah. But now Cape Town Stadium, it's the first time these two teams will be playing there. So there's no history. I don't think we can even bother about looking at that. We actually seldom play in Cape Town as the Springboks against the All Blacks. So yeah, I'm hugely excited about this. And of course, if you are going to Cape Town for this game, get there super early because it's seldom that it gets completely sold out. There's only a few roads into Cape Town itself. So yeah, I'm very envious. I'll be watching in George at a bar, which I'm also pretty excited about. But yeah, Cape Town,
just Just want to warn you. You've got to be a bit careful. There are a couple of people. There are a couple of people. I don't know, like maybe the plane to George is like the hills have eyes or something. There are a couple of people behind you who are looking very menacing. There was one man who was staring at you just now like this going, I think he wants to eat you. You must just watch out.
It is a bit weird because as I said to you, obviously I'm projecting my voice slightly. It's almost as bad as the time in the Ryder Cup when I was in that van with 12 people and they were all quiet and I was just going.
I remember that.
Yeah, but we're doing well here. So yeah, so I would say that the Boks are going to be favorites here. They just have so much more. Blacks have less than that, and it just showed last week. I think it will show even more this time around. And then the other match, Argentina, after somehow losing to Wallabies last week, which was hugely embarrassing, I reckon they'll do it against Australia this week. And this game will be at 8 o'clock. The Bok game will be at 5 o'clock, both on Saturday. There's a whole bunch of Curry Cup as well, if you're still into that. And the great thing about the Curry Cup is that people are trying to make it go. You know, if we just sort of let it go, we would lose so much of SA rugby. So the Bulls and the Lions are pretty much the two-horse races over here, like we said a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting match today. The Brickwas will take Western Province. Now Western Province have been dog shit all year, and Brickwas in Kimberley on that car park of theirs. It's going to be an intensely tough match. So that's pretty close. Lions versus Griffins also today at 5:15. And then the Pumas will take on the Cheetahs tomorrow at 1:30, and the Sharks versus the Bulls. That's the big game Sunday, and that'll be at 3 o'clock. But there is a metric ton of football happening this week as well. So it's the UEFA Nations Cup. Every 2 years they play. It's kind of like the Euros, but they have their own thing. So all the nations of UEFA compete for this cup. It's been played 3 times. It's not like someone really, really cares about it, but if you love football and you miss the Euros, you'll have a big game between now and Tuesday. So tonight, for example, there's going to be France versus Italy at 9:15. Tomorrow, we'll have Ireland versus England at 6. Sunday, Switzerland versus Spain at 9:15. And then Tuesday, Netherlands versus Germany, also at 9:15. So if you are into that, then that's great. If you like a little bit of local action, of course, it's the AFCON qualifiers. So Bafana are in Group K, and they've got South Sudan, Uganda, and Congo. I always find it funny when you look at the AFCON teams, you think, I mean, pardon my ignorance of what goes on the ground, but these countries can't exactly have the most amazing facilities / programs that we have. So I'm backing Bafana to win this one. They're playing Uganda tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll be at the Orlando Stadium. So if you are in the area, it's a great way to start the weekend. Orlando Stadium's really nice because it's slightly more intimate than FNB Stadium. FNB looks great, and obviously for the big games, it's really cool. Orlando Stadium's a really cool home ground. A lot more intimate, a lot more intimidating for their away fans. In the tennis, we've got the US Open semis into finals, actually. Now, the great thing about this, if you don't care too much about tennis, is that there's a lot of outsiders, a lot of underdogs have kind of pulled through as the top seeds have tumbled. So in the women's draw, we've got Sabalenka going to the final versus Pegula. Sabalenka is, wow, I mean, she's been recorded to have the fastest forehand in the tournament, as in she clubs the ball harder than the men.
Wow.
Incredible stat. So she's a real athlete. She's got a great frame on her. And she was in the finals last year. Didn't get it done. But I reckon she'll be a good bet for this weekend. And in the men, we've actually got quite a few Americans doing well here. So Taylor Fritz, he'll take on Francis Tiafoe. Let's clock that up. That'll be in the one semi-final. And then Yannick Sinner will be taking on the English guy, Draper. So obviously we know the English guy is going to choke the crap out of us, but he's also not quite as good as Sinner. Now, Sinner is the world number 1. He started the year really well, and then it was kind of more the Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz show. So Sinner's come back. All the big seeds have gone away. I reckon he'll take it. So between him and I hit the ball harder than anybody, Sabalenka, I reckon that's your US Open winners. There's also golf. If you really like watching golf, there's the Omega European Masters, where it's at Cran-sur-Sierre. It's that super rich place in the Swiss Alps where basically when there's sun for 2 months, they play golf. Otherwise, they just basically they ski and they snowboard and they drink really expensive booze. But that's a really cool thing to watch. So that's kind of it for the weekend. I mean, rugby's obviously a huge thing. The UEFA Nations Cup, the AFCON. There's no Formula One this week. And of course, the PSL starts next week. The Champions League starts next week. So we're going to have a whole bunch of really cool previews throughout next week, and then obviously a lot more football action. But if you are looking to go into Superbets right now and have a bit of a flutter, as the old guys would say, then I really do believe in the box having a bit of a handicap.
Oh my God.
And Argentina finally getting it right. So, so if you go on Superbets right now, there's a really cool multiplier that I've got going. Give the box a handicap of -7.5 and give Argentina a handicap of -6.5. They'll give you odds of 4.8, which is really cool. So your hypothetical 100 is going to return you 480 plus, which is a cool bet. I've got so much faith in this block team clicking. I think last week they were quite shy for the first hour, playing better opposition, but also just getting these combinations right. They've got a really good settled team. Jasper Wiese-Back's going to do a hell of a lot for that forward pack. Ronwen here showing his mettle at number 5. So excited for this block team, and I reckon they're going to win handsomely, as they say.
Very good. Okay, I want to get you off the show because I'm worried about your safety. And one of those people's going to come and kill you.
Screw it.
They all look very weird.
Screw it. I'll take them all on. There's no problem here at all.
Audrey
Just happy
says,
to be here, guys. Friday weekend.
Audrey says the anti-suka benten. And then, by the way, Ben, Dirk Kutsia says in the comments, oh, well, there we go.
There's more people.
Hello.
Hello, Ben. You Are you going to
Cheerios
George?
are killing me.
Are you going to George? I live in wilderness. Come and
And then they
sit
all
with
look
me.
at Ben's camera.
Yeah, they
like,
check
what's
it Ben
going
out.
on?
They're like, oh, I'm going to be on carte
There was-
blanche.
Can you imagine what they're saying behind me now? What they're skittering about?
No, they're not. They don't. None of those people have anyone to talk to. They're ignoring each other. None of them. I mean, you'd think if you were flying somewhere cool on a Friday, you'd be a little bit happier. They don't look very happy.
Yes,
You're the only one who looks
look at
happy.
me, I'm ecstatic.
Oh, so Dirk says, thank you, Ben, for recommending Blitzed last week about the Nazis and the meth and everything.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it down. I'm now reading Tripped, which is also about like LSD and all of that stuff. Absolutely crazy. You can't make stuff up. Oh my God, Ben. You better go. That's your
Device ready
announcement.
to
Well, have a wonderful weekend. I'm very excited about the weekend, as you can see. And I'll catch you back next week.
All right, cool. Have a
Next
lovely
week
time.
it is,
Thanks, Ben. Ciao. All right, there we go. Bitcoin But says that lady behind Ben is a fan of the show for sure. I don't think so. I don't think she knows what's going on. She's like, why are those people filming me? What have I done that they are filming me? Is it undercover SWAT team who are coming to take me out for that 5 rand that I picked up outside the ABSA the other day that wasn't mine?
Then you have the guy with the laptop who's like, can you just shut up now?
Yeah. Yeah, like he wants to work.
He's like, you're making a noise.
Oh my God. All right. Let's get into a little bit of news this morning because there
Okay,
is
cool.
stuff that we need to know. So good news for plastic roads in South Africa. Yes. In Jeffreys Bay, not the home of terribly much innovation, but in Jeffreys Bay, there is a plastic-infused road pilot project that has shown significant promise in terms of durability and longevity compared to traditional tar roads. So the idea is here that you use plastic waste in road construction. I mean, what else are you going to do with the waste?
So what happens when there's a pothole?
There won't be a pothole because plastic isn't like tar. So tar, obviously, they mix the tar with stones. And if water gathers in a certain part of the road and it doesn't manage to wash off that part of the road, then it essentially water erodes a pothole. So it breaks down the little walls and slowly but surely you end up with a much bigger hole. So that's how a pothole happens. But with plastic, that wouldn't happen.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but if it did, it would take a lot longer. And what are we going to do with all this waste anyway? I'm not against this idea. So apparently, it not only addresses environmental concerns, but also presents a financially feasible alternative. So it's cheaper as well then. The plastic roads are proving to be more durable, more cost-effective, and have the potential to revolutionize the plastic waste value chain in the country. Now, I mean, I'm all for it, right?
Let's go.
The initial results are promising, widespread adoption, and the response of the Department of Transport are yet to be seen. So we'll have to see. It depends on the Minister of Transport. If successful on a larger scale, plastic roads could significantly transform road construction, reduce plastic waste, and alleviate financial strain on municipalities.
I don't like that last part.
Strain on municipalities.
No, well, the financial strain, because we know these guys like money. So they're probably gonna do something to make this seem like it's so much more expensive because it's the first time they're ruling it out.
Because they want the tenders.
Then they're gonna have a fight about who must get this tender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey? But okay, I like the idea though.
It's
I like the idea.
Let's see. Maybe it's gonna be amazing.
Maybe, hey?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm okay. Fun fact, J-Bay only got their first robots in the mid-90s, says Congo Chris.
Oh.
Don't your folks live in Jeffreys Bay, James? They do. So you gone down there on holiday? Okay. The one robot that Jeffreys Bay has, I'm just repeating what you say so people can hear it, yeah? It's still the only one.
The rest of the town is stop streets and circles.
So, all right. So it's not the most advanced place in South Africa. Okay. All right. There we go. Thank you. The famous robot of Jeffreys Bay.
The infamous one. When you go to Jeffreys Bay, you have to go see that robot.
Where you live, you drive past 10 robots every time you just get on the highway. And yet in Jeffreys Bay, it's like, did you go and visit the robot today?
Was it maintained?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Oh
my gosh.
Was there a red light or a green light while you were there? And you know what's amazing, Simpiwe? It changes on its own.
I know, right?
There isn't even a person pulling a lever. You don't have to do anything.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
I love it.
So great.
I love it, Jeff.
All right, so J-Bay, exciting for you. There we go. China will give J-Bay plastic robots. Maybe. Listen, let's give them credit. If they're doing this plastic road project there, that's a cool thing. If they become the town in South Africa that sets an example for the rest of us, it. St. Francis and Cape St. Francis is more pristine than J-Bay, and it's right next door. Maybe, but it's expensive. The plastic will last forever. The sub-layer will probably wash away eventually and will need repairs. Maybe.
Okay.
Percy calls it the J-Bot. the Jeffreys Bay robot is called the J-Bot from now on, okay? So
take a picture next time you're there.
Yeah, James, you have to take a picture of this famous. Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Exciting. Why can't we turn the plastic into fuel? Because Bitcoin, but when you burn plastic, people get upset. They say you're releasing all kinds of dangerous chemicals into the atmosphere. I make fires at home in winter, right? Sure. I burn lots of shit that fire. Like if I've got snacks out and they're in a plastic bag, I throw the fucking plastic bag in the fire. I don't care.
Gareth.
No, I don't care.
You're harming the environment.
Mostly what you're left with is carbon. Okay, there might be one or two noxious gases, but in small quantities. You know how many noxious gases the environmentalists themselves are releasing through their assholes?
Eh?
Yeah, exactly.
They be taking private jets to go talk about the whole we must save the planet, the irony. But hey.
Oh, this is a good point. Snaya says, Nkuleko Hlengwa, who we actually had on our show not so long ago, is the Deputy Minister of Transport, and that guy is on top of stuff. He knows what's going on. Says you would have to be a really brave son of a bitch to steal in the name of road project tenders. Kuleko doesn't take shit from anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't look for trouble with him. And I saw him on TV the other day, and he was talking about some project they've got to get like the trains back and on time. And
yes.
Like that's the guy to get it done.
I'm liking this. Our ministers must work. Yes.
Lito says, why the hell are we still worrying about these climate clowns? They don't go to Russia and China and talk that. That's exactly right. So I was so annoyed. I saw Greta Thunberg was putting on a protest the other day again. She was protesting at some place in Sweden. And this is her. She's a full-time pain in the ass. This is what this girl is. That's her whole world now. And by the way, she's not some cute little Swedish girl anymore now. She's turning into this. She looks like a 90-year-old woman now. And it didn't take long. She didn't have her hair wasn't brushed. She looked unkempt. She's wearing a little Palestinian scarf because that's her new bugbear. She's just a professional, moaning pain in the ass. That's all she is. We can start ignoring her. We should have started 3 years ago, if you ask me, maybe even 5 years ago. But now we can definitely ignore her. She's an unimportant, uninteresting, self-absorbed nobody. terrible person.
Oh gosh.
She needs to get laid, says Jason. Yeah, I agree. She does look like a 90s troll doll. Look at the latest picture of Greta. See if you can find the latest picture of her being arrested. She's aged like 40 years in a few months since the last time I saw her protesting something.
Oh, yo.
She was never a cute little girl, says Lita. Well, I don't know. Maybe that was part of the charm once. It's definitely not anymore. All right. Looking at X, and we talked about X being banned in Brazil. So Elon was talking about something which I thought was quite interesting yesterday. He said, I think it would be extremely tragic if Apollo, that's the moon landing,
Yes.
Was the high watermark for humanity, and that's as far as we ever got.
Sure.
So I've heard this from a couple of people, that science is stagnant at the moment. I don't know. I mean, we get frustrated, Sims, and I know you're also an Apple freak. So when the new phone comes out and it doesn't do that much more,
Yes.
it's like more or less the same as the previous phone. Right?
Yes, just 10 times
More expensive. More expensive. It's got a bigger camera. That's all. It's the same old, same old.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually we're going to have 6,000 megapixel photographs, but nowhere to store them. So I don't know whether he's right or wrong, but if we've peaked as a civilization, if humanity's greatest achievement is something we did in the 60s, we need to keep moving. I would say the internet is a pretty big thing for the last 40 years.
Yes.
I think that's a major achievement for humanity. It's good and bad, obviously, like anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, like, I look at bridges that were built in the 1920s
Yes.
across massive gorges in the Eastern Cape, for example, since that's our focus area for this morning, thanks to J-Bay. But if you look at those incredible bridges they've built there, I don't know if they've built anything like that recently.
No, but even when people are building things, it all looks the same. Like I saw a picture where they're comparing all the various like fast food restaurants and how they were so bright, and McDonald's used to actually some of the buildings would represent the M, and it was like also different and also colorful, and now it's all just modern. All of them look the same. All of them are very monochrome, and it's just like almost like an element of creativity has been taken away. And so I do think maybe we have peaked, eh? Like that was the best time to have done things, because now we just all like everyone's in the same font. Everyone is like like doing things the same way. There's no like
that's true.
Oh, let's like push the boundaries. They've even did it with logos where they're like the logo of like Apple 40 years ago compared to now. It was more creative, like more out there,
more colorful, more interesting.
Yes, and then now it's just
everything's in black and white and gray.
That's it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and we've had this conversation on the show before. It's like architecture's got very boring.
Yes.
Everything, post boxes, telephone booths, which we don't need anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like anything that they build now is so utilitarian. It's so built for function and not just not form and function, which is what it used to be. You know, if you look at the buildings, like most of the city halls across South Africa, right? This is the place where the city council would meet. It's the most important building supposedly in your town. They were all beautifully built.
Yes.
I mean, I remember in Pietermaritzburg, for example, we've got an absolutely beautiful city hall in Maritzburg. The eThekwini one too in Durban. Pretoria has a beautiful city hall. Cape Town's one is currently being used for Parliament because Parliament was burnt, right?
Yes.
So we have these beautiful buildings. All of them were built at the turn of the last century, which is a long time ago. We're talking, sometimes these buildings are 100 years or more old. And what beautiful buildings have been built since then?
Yeah.
You architects, we're watching you. Like, where are the beautiful buildings? And I get it. Like, there are some amazing buildings here in Sandton. They're like skyscrapers and glass and chrome. It doesn't have to be old school. So those buildings are beautiful, but not in the same way. Like, if you think about how, in order to build one of those old buildings I'm talking about, you'd need a stonemason. It took time.
Yes.
And it took effort. And the windows had to be made each at a time. It wasn't like some mass-produced aluminium thing.
Yes.
I think you're right. Like the world is getting uglier, not prettier.
Yeah, it's like we just went from like colorful, creative, push the boundaries, not sure where we're going, to
Yeah, meh.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree
Sad.
more.
It's very
Yeah,
sad.
so let's bring back beautiful architecture, huh?
Yes,
How
please.
about that? That would be lovely. Imagine if someone just built. I mean, it's also to do with budgets. So I don't want to just be rude about architects because it's obviously their fault. But it's not just their fault because the people paying for the building also, they just want value for money.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be that you wanted to build something truly beautiful. You could say, "This is my house. It looks amazing." Oh, well, there we go. There's
the
Joburg.
skyline.
Look how ugly that. Look at how ugly that is. I mean, we had this background when we were talking about the Joburg Heritage Fund the other day, and those are people who are working hard all the time to make Joburg more interesting, taking people on tours and all that stuff. But look at that ugly ass Hillbrow Tower. Okay, just look at that thing right next to my head. Look at this. There, where there. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
What a horrible monster, nasty 70s piece of barbarian shit that is. And you know, obviously it's a symbol of Joburg.
Yes, it is.
And people know it, but it's ugly. Look at that. It's ugly. Would you want to live in that?
No.
No.
Hell no.
It looks like a suppository for Satan.
Okay. Okay. Well, we know how you
That's
feel.
ugly. And Ponty, you saw Ponty in that image as well.
Yes.
That's also an ugly building. I don't care what people say. It's there. Look at it with that Vodafone sign on the top.
You know what's interesting is that I stay in the East Rand. From the east, I can.
Well, from bad to worse. We just jumped from Joburg to the East Rand. Oh, the East Rand.
No, just listen. So sometimes I can see that Vodacom tower from like our house, but then we also have like the tallest building in Sandton. I'm like, how come I can't see that?
Yeah, well, you're just not lined up properly for that.
Okay.
You have to pay extra for that. You got to pay extra for that view. For a minute, the set looks like an ENCA broadcast. Turn it off. Yeah, thank you. See, producers, Tracy's on to you. All right, very, very good. Dr. Robin says the architecture of East London is surprisingly beautiful, but trashed by cheap spaza shops and posters stuck everywhere. I have been into the center of East London, admittedly not for a long time.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it is a dump.
Oh,
but not because of the buildings being ugly, but because no one's looking after that place. East London looks like a dump.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. The Grand Mosque, it was finished in 2007. It took 13 years and the details were crazy. I saw it yesterday. Did not know that they still do stuff like that anymore. Is that the one here in Joburg, Raven? Because there's a beautiful mosque in Midrand, of all places, which was built by a Turkish guy. And you can see it sometimes from the highway.
Okay.
And it really is quite something to see. And I'm absolutely sure it's beautiful inside, although I haven't been into it before. But, you know, you think about churches and mosques and things. People used to make these unbelievably gorgeous buildings, like Notre Dame, which obviously also had a fire in it a couple of years ago. I was watching this brilliant documentary about how they rebuilt Notre Dame. And they used the same techniques that were used in the 13 or 12 or 1100s when they built it. Like guys with like a plane and wood and getting these beams of oak from a forest in France. And, you know, stonemasons who are chipping away at something to make it exactly the way it should be. They cleaned everything. They used lead on the roof.
Wow.
And the way they pour this lead into sheets and then roll it up, and then they unroll it on the roof because obviously that's to prevent leaks and to prevent water from getting into the church. But that's what they did almost 1,000 years ago.
Sure.
And you think about that and you compare it to like some construction site.
We have potholes.
And we have potholes.
We have
potholes in our roads.
Like,
so, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
What's your favorite building in PE, Gareth? I'll tell you what it is. Something called the Campanile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there. How's that? F you, Congo Chris. You thought I didn't have an answer.
He thought he got you. He's like,
so it's like a clock tower.
Okay.
It's unfortunately tucked between the highway and the CBD, and it looks terrible now. Hasn't been cleaned in years. I drove past it about a month and a half ago. But it's a beautiful building. It's quite iconic because there's nothing else like it in PE, and there's nothing else like it anywhere else in the country. So that's probably my favorite building in PE. You can't live in it. It's just a clock tower. I don't know what is happening on the floors below. Might be like orcs and hobbits and trolls, and who alone knows? It's PE, right? So anything could be living in there. Ogres, monsters, you don't know. Like PE. So inbred hillbillies, nobody knows. But yes, I do have a favorite building in PE. Congo, Chris. Beautiful architecture, XR says, requires sacrifice and blood.
Yes.
None of those amazing buildings come about without horror. Yes, when they built a cathedral in medieval Europe, people were crushed by falling stones. They had like scaffolding that was made out of like wood. I mean, I'm talking like, a good couple of meters up into the air, and it's all wood. And if someone shakes it down at the bottom, you die. And sure, it also took, many cases, hundreds of years. I don't know if you've been to or you know about the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Gaudi, who's probably one of the last great architects, is building this I say building, he's died, but his project goes on. They've been building it for over 100 years now.
Sure.
The Sagrada Familia, and it's not complete. It won't be complete for some time.
Ooh.
But they're taking painstaking time to make every part of it exactly as he had designed it, and they're adding to it all the time too. So it's like a living building.
Sure.
That is spectacular. If you ever have a chance to go and see a cathedral, make that one of the cathedrals you see in your life. And whether you're a religious person or you're not, it's just, it's unspeakably beautiful. Yeah.
Ooh, it sounds beautiful.
All right. I didn't mean to bore you with architecture for a whole. See what you opened up? A can of worms. No, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but don't worry, we won't. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. It is 7 o'clock. You are here with us live on the Gareth Cliff Show, right here on the Real Network.
So where do people get tickets? How do we get our hands on tickets?
Okay, so tickets are available on Howler. You check out the options. It's 275 Rand for a general access ticket. And you can you can take on the park and ride facility from the Mall of Africa, which gets you into the center circuit.
Who's your partner there?
Sani Car Rental is our partner. 20 shuttles running between Mall of Africa into the circuit.
So people arrive at Mall of Africa, just look out for Sani Car Rental.
Yes, it's at gate entrance 6 and 8.
Okay.
Look out for the Sani signage, the festival motoring signage. There's branding all over to direct the visitor. Get into the shuttle and back. And there's free parking if you have the Admit app.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
At some point, I also wanted to be a DJ, but I felt like by the time I really almost called PH, please help me get into it. Hey, it was a bit too late.
You should have asked him to teach you how to DJ. He loves giving lessons on DJ.
You know what the problem is? I'll probably stop mid-set and start having a conversation. Did you guys like that? Yeah, you see, my favorite part is when I mix that other part and then I just... I talk too much.
Yes, but you know, the things that you need to DJ nowadays, you've got all of them. You're hot, you have bums, you could just play a song and dance.
Me again, your voice of reason. Did you know you and Mary from accounting have the same medical aid option? But you hardly claim, and she's at the doctor every week and had a hip replacement last year. Yet you pay the same. It doesn't add up. Please, check out Fed Health Select options. If you're healthy, you can choose to pay 25% less every month. And if you ever need a planned procedure, you simply pay a once-off excess. Now that's how medical aid should be. Go to fedhealth.co.za.
All right. Good morning. We are live. This is the Gareth Cliff Show on the Real Network, and I hope your Friday is going perfectly so far. Sims is here with me. Ben is flying to George, so we checked in with him. Some very strange people at that airport, I'll tell you what.
I hope no one
very
spikes his coffee or drink.
No.
Sure.
We've talked about Twitter being banned in Brazil. We've talked about upper deckers. We've talked about architecture.
I thought you would have forgotten about that.
We've talked about sports, and we're just getting started. Brendon Peel will be joining us in a short while. He was actually on Britain's Got Talent because he can do magic and illusions and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're going to have him join us in just a short while. That's bound to be fun. But it's Friday, which means your weekend is coming. How awesome is that? Hercules. Gareth, check out Livraria Lello. It's a bookshop in Porto, in Portugal.
Okay.
Because we were talking about, oh, wow. Okay, that is pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about architecture before, and I swore we'd move on. Look at that inside. God, that's beautiful. Look at that staircase. Wow.
I'd get lost.
Oh, wow.
in it.
I think we should do the show from there.
Yes.
Look at that.
Like, wow, I'd be speechless.
That's pretty. Huh? Okay, if you're not on YouTube and you're listening to us, you are missing out.
You need to actually go see this. Like, this is
really
absolutely amazing. Sure.
All right. Remember to like and share and subscribe, says Rebellious Ruth. Rebellious Ruth in the comment section is the chairperson of all the comments. So if she says so, you have to do it. Otherwise, she will kick you out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Apparently, Lex Friedman and Ivanka Trump on YouTube had a very interesting discussion about architecture in New York.
Okay.
Listen, not all modern architecture is horrible.
Yes.
You know,
we can agree on that.
There's some of it that's very functional, but also is pretty.
I just feel like sometimes it doesn't push the boundaries of, you know, it could be a eighth wonder of the world.
Creativity, yeah,
yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely. So Grahamstown, according to Andy, has the most beautiful churches, but the municipality has moved into most of them, and they don't look after anything. The municipality has moved into the churches.
Government.
That is disgraceful. Can you imagine the government ruining a church?
In holy ground.
Exactly.
Imagine.
With their unholy government ways.
That's the devil working overtime.
Yeah. All right. And then the Cologne Cathedral is amazing. There are lots of interesting things here. Guys, why are you advertising the Festival of Motoring during halftime? That's an old promo. Okay, sometimes we drop in the wrong one by mistake, but thank you for that color. We will make sure we take care of that. It was the Festival of Motoring last weekend, and I saw George Meany and the Auto Trader team were there.
Nice.
And it does seem like a fun thing to go to.
They always get up to like the best things at these like motoring.
Yeah, you just want to go there and see the very expensive cars.
Of course, I might meet my future husband.
Yeah, you will meet your future husband. Simpiria is always looking for a husband. So if you have lots of money, you're already 10 steps ahead of everyone else.
Like, I'm ready to be a wife. You know, I'm ready to just be like,
are you?
Yes, like my husband this, my husband that. Just the other day,
you've been watching too many of those Real Housewives shows.
But it happens in real life. Can I tell you? I was at the store, right? I just got out of my car. This lady had parked her car, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I like your car. Like one day I'd like to get your car. And she's like, you know, my husband bought me this car and I'm waiting for him to upgrade me to the next version because I'm not going to buy it myself. I was like, Nazo.
Sims, you've got a really nice car. And you bought that yourself.
I know. So imagine what my husband can do now, because that's the standard.
Do you know how many women there are who are married and they have to ask their husband for everything? And here you are. You bought your own car with your own money. You didn't have to ask anybody.
Yes.
They are jealous of you, just like you think you're jealous of them.
Okay, maybe I'm just like living in Delulu, but in my head and my mind, like that's the standard. So this is the lifestyle that I'm currently living as a single person.
You are crazy. Stay independent, Sims, says Percy. Yeah, you're right.
I don't like paying my own bills. And then like...
No one likes paying bills. It's part of life. You think I wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to pay some bills. Do you think anybody in the world, you think James and Flex are waking up and go, my favorite part of my day is paying my bills? Said no one ever.
I'm just saying, maybe it would be nice to just like be like, hey, mister.
Nick says Simpiwa is getting a drug lord with that quantum taxi driver shirt and cap. Quantum. So listen, I got caught in a scam. No, but I didn't know because I'll explain what happened. So I ordered something from the UK probably about a month ago.
Okay.
And then I got this seemingly legit email from one of the courier companies in South Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is probably to pay for the courier company or customs and duties or whatever, because I've done that before. So then I click through to their site and it doesn't say the courier's name in the website. So I should have immediately gone, this is a scam.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, maybe they're using some sort of, proxy site that processes all the payments. Who knows? And so you go, I'll put in my credit card details. But I'm super careful at this point because I think this is probably dodgy. But I also don't want this package to be sitting in some dispatch center and I'm not paying the 12 Rand because it said 12 Rand or whatever.
Okay.
So I thought, well, if it's a scam for 12 Rand, they can have 12 Rand.
Okay.
But if it's my package that's coming for 12 Rand, then anyway, what happens is, and I'm very lucky I caught it at the last minute, but they tried to get me. What happens is you enter your credit card details and everything, okay, which makes me nervous even though I've done it a lot. And then you press the button and it says, we'll send you an SMS with this 4-digit code.
Sure.
And then when you get the SMS, I never got the SMS, which made me suspicious. But it then says to you, your bank says to you, okay, this amount is scheduled. Guess how much they were going to take from me? 12 Rand 76 was what it said.
So I'll add a few zeros. So I think 1.2.
They were going to take 7,600 Rand off of me. Yeah. And I realized at that point, so, on your bank app or whatever, you can decline.
Yes.
Or approve. So I declined. And I hope it hasn't gone through. But that happened yesterday, so I'm going to have to find out today. But how's that, hey? From 12 Rand to 7,600.
I'm speechless.
Mm-hmm.
How people
and I
I
was being very careful, so I think I managed to catch it in time. I hope so. But man, like who can afford to lose in this economy 7,600 Rand? Who can afford that? If I'd pressed approve and I hadn't looked at the amount.
Yes, because that's what they're banking on the fact that people tend to be like, I looked at the screen.
So bad.
And all I need to do is confirm.
The other problem is I've had to cancel the card anyway, in case, right?
Yes.
So now you cancel the card because you don't want
future.
Like the same people now have your credit card details. You've got to cancel it immediately. So anyway, you should have consulted a millennial, says Judith, because this came up on Wednesday's show. Apparently millennials are less likely to be scammed than anyone else.
That's good.
The old people,
Love it. That's me.
The boomers and silent generation people, they get scammed all the time.
That is my generation.
They trust everybody. Then Gen Xers get scammed a little less because they grew up with some technology. Then the millennials, like they're the most on top of this. Gen Z are apparently stupid too because they also
they're busy demanding things here about working for 4 hours. Like, gosh, Gen Zs.
Yeah.
They're a special breed.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do with them, but they're a special breed that I'm just like, what must happen now?
Says, fuck, those Nigerian princes are getting greedy. Yeah.
Yes.
Mapello says, I was at the Festival of Motoring last weekend. It was fire. That orange Lamborghini Revoletto was definitely the highlight of the show. I also did some skidding around on the track. I think they call it, what do they call it? I did this with George Meany and the team from Auto Trader once. There's a word for it. It's not called skidding. Something else. Damn it. No, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway. What is it? It's on a skid pan, but yeah. What is it called, man? Drifting. Thank you. Drifting. It's pretty cool.
Isn't that what Gaten wants to make an official sport?
I think
spinning.
Spinning's on a bike.
No, but with the cars.
Drifting?
I think so, yes.
Really?
He wants to make that like an official sport.
Okay, well, Gaten's got ideas. Thank you, George. He says drifting in the comments. Yeah, apparently Bitcoin Bud agrees with you. He does want to make it a sport. Okay. I mean, sure. You need to have a skid pan.
Oh no, you just need a road. Have you not seen those guys in the hood? Like, it happens maybe once a month. It's a big event. They bring their kusheshes, you know, or
Yeah.
BMW because it's a standard thing.
Right.
And those guys, I know they call it, guys, you call what pinchamatayera or something like that, where they basically finish the tires.
What is it?
Tsipa matayera. That's what they call it.
Tsipa matayera.
Yes. And basically what happens, they always say they're finishing off the last leg of the wheel.
Of the tires, yeah.
Of the tires. So they go, they get a nice area and they just
I saw a video on
you just see the skid marks. I guess.
there was a video on, I think it was Twitter the other day of like all these people watching this.
Yes.
And then he went into the crowd and like I don't know if he killed anybody. I hope not. But it was carnage. There were like bodies flying.
Yeah.
Because these guys are out of control.
Yeah, it's wild, but it's a big thing. I know in the Gassis, these guys do it. You can even get in, and then people come out of the window and they're like, "Yo, look at me!" It's an amazing
Wow.
thing. Like, so.
And Gayton reckons that's a sport.
I don't know about that.
All right, here's some other news for you.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube has announced that it will limit recommendations of certain health and fitness videos to teenagers in an effort to prevent them from being encouraged into repeated viewing of content that could lead to negative beliefs about the body image. Now,
Thank you.
Simpiwe is producing a show with the doctors.
Yes.
Which we'll meet Suhail on this show soon. But the doctors, a bunch of doctors who've got together and they've decided to do a podcast. They've already been doing their own podcast. They're now going to be doing it with us. And that show will be starting soon.
Yes.
And the episode you recorded yesterday was about?
Well, it was about body dysmorphia, and it was started because Kanye Bao is getting a new face. And everyone's like, okay, girl, we've seen you over the years get these surgeries, bleaching, but this, because she took a picture immediately after the operation, and it looks like she's just pulling her face back whatnot. It didn't look good. And they were kind of explaining it from a medical point of view, like, these procedures of doctors doing it, like, is it ethical or not? Like, when do doctors get to say no? But also
like if Michael Jackson comes to you
yes,
towards the end and he looks like that and he's like, I just want you to change a little bit of my chin.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to change a little bit of my lips. I wonder if you could tuck my eyes in a little bit more. You got to go, no.
But
you should say no,
fact,
but you know what'll happen? He'll just go to another doctor. Who'll
yes,
say yes.
and so doctors are allowed to say no, but they're obligated in that case to then recommend you to somebody else.
Oh.
Yes, who might take it on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, Kanyimbao, what are you doing?
She's removing her eyelids
What's
or
going
something
on?
like that.
What is going
and
on
her
here?
upper lip. It's crazy. And so then they're also talking about like keeping up with the beauty standards.
She looks like the Chin Emperor who's been dead for 1,500
yes,
years.
she looks.
What the hell is she doing there?
That straight after op. She posted that.
Kanyimbao. She used to be a beautiful woman. I hope she isn't going to come out of this looking freaky. I mean, that looks bad.
It really
but you know, that's straight after the op. Maybe it takes a while to settle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't understand this. I see these women who they age gracefully and beautifully, and I
Yes.
think the wrinkles are not the problem. You shouldn't be young forever. You should look your age.
Yes.
Right? You should be proud of every little line because it's something you've lived through.
Yes.
It's something you've earned. You should be pleased to be you. No one can tell you what to do.
That is
I'm not
very
going to
true.
say you force yourself to, never. If you want a little tuck or a little nip here, cool. But the moment it gets obsessive like that, and I mean, to go back to the story, what they're doing is that they are going to no longer recommend certain types of content to teenagers. So it's specifically aimed at teenagers. Like videos that idealize specific body types, fitness levels, or
That's
displaying
good.
social aggression. Yeah, it's good, but also, when are these teenagers going to hit the real world? Like, there are objectively more beautiful people than you or
That
than
is-
me.
Yes.
There are going to be aggressive people in your world. Like, you can't sanitize everything.
Yeah, but I think to some extent because YouTube is already like people can put filters on a video, right? They can edit it to look a certain way. And I think that's what they're trying to run away from is that people are going to expect everyone to look a certain way, and then you walk out and you realize, no, but I don't look like that, and that's not how, like, you know, the real world actually looks like. Whereas when you just walk out and you see somebody walking, you're like, oh, okay, this is.
I want you to make me look like Diana Ross. I want you to give me titties. I want some titties. I want a Brazilian butt lift. I want everything. I mean, Michael looked ridiculous.
He did.
And there are women in Santon who look like that.
Yeah, and they think that's okay.
I went to a hairdresser years ago in a famous shopping center in South Africa. Well-known hairdresser. And I just went for a haircut. Takes 15 minutes.
Okay.
Cost me, like, I don't know, 100, 200 bucks. Nothing
Have
big.
you done one of those fancy haircuts where they like steam you and then give you a facial massage and it's like 700 rand?
I would like to try that.
Okay, cool.
But in this case, I did not.
Okay.
But while I was sitting there and having my haircut, I looked into the mirror, which was in front of me, and behind me, I saw a freak show. A woman whose entire face was pulled in various directions. She looked, her lips were out here. Her eyes were all sunken in. And I don't know how old she was. I don't think, she must have been there at the dawn of time. She might have been Eve. For all I know, that was Eve. But man, is she trying not to get old. And it looks bad.
Oh, man.
You can have a good 70, 80. Really, you can.
Yes, you can.
Or you can have a bad one. And if you're made mostly of silicon and plastic, didn't Michaela tell us in the office the other day? Michaela's our social media person here at The Real Network. And she was saying that she was at an international airport. And apparently this woman went through the scanner and it went beep, 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 beep. So she went through another scanner, probably one of those like ones that use, I don't know, more than X-rays. They probably do like a CT type scan. And it turns out she had like silicon all over
her body. Yes.
Yeah. So who knew that would go off in the scan? How embarrassing. Imagine you like put all your stuff down. It goes through the machine. Beep, 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 beep. But I don't have it. Ma'am, you got a lot of chemicals in you that no human body should have. Right? Jesus. What a thing.
But that's horrible. Absolutely horrible. But it also tells you or shows you that this is where society is moving, where people are always going to want to look different because, I don't know, they don't look like the next person, and trying to keep up with the Kardashians for all's eyes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the doctor show will be coming soon.
Cook Ooh, that's the name. Cook Ooh says, I don't understand how the husband of those weird-looking, pumped-up women don't say anything. Do they find it attractive?
I think so, because some of them fund it.
They pay for it, but you also got to remember, like, sometimes the person who's having this done is so obsessed that they think that that one more operation will be the one that makes them beautiful, and that is a kind of body dysmorphia, and they're obsessed with it to the point where no one can talk them out of it. Not their husband, not their children, not their wife, not their best friend. There's no one who can get involved there and make it better.
Yeah.
It looks weird though. They all look like that. Just be glad you have your problems and not hers. Yeah, I often think that. I'm like, well, I don't love everything about the way I look.
Yes.
But
which is normal.
I'd still rather not look like that.
And the issue with like going under the knife like that is they sell it off as a once-off procedure, like you'll get a BBL. But the reality is plastic needs to be maintained with plastic, right? So in a few years...
new and old plastic. Like the stuff on the roads, for example.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't last forever, but it lasts a little while.
A little while. So in a few years' time, when you have to go back for the maintenance, they're going to tell you about a new operation that, we don't just do BBLs, we do this and that. And you're like, ooh, that sounds nice. I can do this and that. And then they do that. And then you go back again. So that's also part of the issue is that once you've done it the one time, you're probably going to go back and keep just upgrading and going crazier and crazier until you look like this. Can you bow?
So Dirk says a surgeon friend of ours explained that for most people, facial plastic surgery doesn't make you more beautiful because you still need a good bone structure and foundation, etc. That's true. Objectively, very few people come out of plastic surgery looking amazingly better. There'll be small changes. Maybe you get rid of some lines. Maybe like I've got these frown lines here. I suppose if I went for Botox, I'd get rid of them, but I don't want them to go away. I like intimidating the hell out of people when they're not doing what I want them to do and going, and then like using those lines, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You imagine me just going.
It's weird as well because people don't have facial expressions. And then they're like, I'm so mad right now.
I'm having such a terrible day. I'm having such a great day. Everything's the same. That's
scary.
It's like modern architecture. Everything's the same.
Oh my gosh.
You want to have a face like a cathedral. That's basically where we've come to on all of this. Once you open a Pandora's box, you are fucked, says Max Sony. Yeah. Vincent says, Gareth, men can have penis fillers. What do you think about that?
Think about it. Think about it.
You know what?
Think about it.
Okay, no. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
If you don't like your penis for whatever reason, tough. Because if you mess with that thing and it no longer works properly, you're going to be a very sad human being.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just talking about being able to do bodily functions. Sex obviously will be horribly affected. Imagine if they cut the wrong thing or there's a nerve that goes around. I would be so, for an extra little bit of length?
Ugh.
What are you? Stupid? No, you can't do that. I think it's very, very dangerous. Why fiddle with something and mess with something that is just what it is? So if you have like a major problem and you think, oh, I've got the smallest penis in the world and it's never going to work, don't go for surgery. I would say
toys. You'll be fine.
Just buy toys.
You'll be fine.
You will satisfy her in other ways. Learn some skills. What do they say? It's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. Whatever. Yeah, even George agrees with me. He says, yeah, there are places needles should not go.
Yes.
Like I don't ever, there's no way. I would never do that.
No.
Peni, says Dr. Robin, using the correct Latin for more than one, for plural. She says, peni are not really very attractive. Not sure plastic surgery can salvage them.
And imagine somebody else having to look at that for like hours because surgeries take hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that's your whole job. Every day you go into that work, you sit down at your desk, you're like, how many operations do I have to? I've got to do 8 penises between now and lunchtime. Imagine you're just penis everywhere.
Oh, gosh.
What a life.
Oh,
who would want that life?
Imagine
imagine an anus doctor.
Oh.
That's one worse, right?
Oh no. Oh no.
You know what they call them? It's a real area of specialization.
Okay.
So you get doctors who are cardiologists
Yes.
and cardiac specialists.
That's the heart.
Right. You get ophthalmologists and optometrists with the eye.
Yes.
You get people who are audiologists.
For the ear, yes.
And audio specialists of some kind. And the ass is an actual division all of its own called a proctologist. I put in a couple of extra T's. Proctologist. So a proctologist is someone who works on assholes the whole day.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
You imagine you go to university, you study medicine for years.
Already.
Then you specialize 4 years. You've got
That's
big
what you
bills
chose.
and you choose what part of the body, what shall I choose? Asshole.
Oh.
I'm going to be a proctologist.
Oh no.
Very odd.
Some
very,
people
very odd.
are better humans than I am.
Apparently, they've changed the names. This is just an update I'm getting now. They don't call it proctology anymore.
Oh.
So what do they change it now? They call themselves Colorectal surgeons.
Oh my word.
Isn't that worse?
Oh.
That's worse.
Oh. Oh.
Hi, I'm Gareth. I do a podcast and got my own business. Oh, yeah, nice. Well,
what do you do?
What do you do? Well, I'm Sven. I'm Nospektringesche. What do you do, Nospektringesche? I'm a colorectal surgeon.
Excuse me, come again?
Colorectal surgeon. That's nice for you. Now, would you marry a colorectal surgeon if they had lots of money, Simpiwe? Would you?
Hey, are they good looking, I guess?
If they're good looking and they're rich.
Probably, because I'm not the one sticking anything up anybody else. So I'm not doing that. You just bring home the bacon, let me spend it.
What if the reason that he became a colorectal surgeon is because that's what he's really interested in?
Leave me alone.
So suddenly you don't want to marry him. Okay.
There's certain parts of my body that don't need to be touched. Please.
Imagine what you would do if that asshole was shut. It's the king of the body, really. Yeah, okay. It's like plumbing, right? Not a glamorous job.
Yeah.
But man, when you need a plumber, that's all you want. Is
And
like,
you want a good plumber, and you want someone who's going to come in.
Fix that bathroom. Same with your body. If you have an asshole problem, you want that colorectal surgeon.
You just like, sir,
please
do your job.
How much do you want?
Take it now.
Take my money. Scam me with a card machine.
It's okay.
Yeah. And surgeons are petty about this. They want other people to use the new term. I think just in terms of how it sounds, it's worse.
It's so much worse.
Proctologist, you could still, if people don't know,
you can finesse it.
They'll say, oh, okay, some kind of surgeon. They don't, maybe they look it up, maybe they don't. You can get away with it. You say colorectal. The rectal's the bad part. Everyone knows what a rectum is. So now you're stuck. So in the first hour of the show, we had upper deckers. Now we got colorectal surgeons. This show's disgusting.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. Apparently today was Lavatory Day.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no, just on the show.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought that was an actual thing. I was like, oh, no. Please, save me.
There's a funny joke about a gynecologist who starts a new job as a mechanic and changes the spark plugs through the exhaust.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible.
That's disgusting. All right. Okay, one other thing I wanted to tell you about quickly, because there are a couple of stories in the news that we haven't got to yet. Apparently, a 27-year-old woman, I think we have a picture of her. She is, I'll give you her name in a minute. She's been crowned the new Maori Queen in New Zealand. Remember, we found out that one of the reasons that New Zealand was so upset about the haka being interrupted at the rugby last Saturday was because they had a moment of silence for the Maori King, who nobody knew. I mean, it's the Maori King and nobody knows. But here's possibly the reason why nobody knows. The new Queen's name is Ngawaihono Itepopaki.
Let's just run that again. Her name?
Ngawaihono Itepopaki.
Sure.
That's her name.
Okay.
She's the new Maori Queen in New Zealand.
Okay.
Marks a significant shift from the traditional male succession. She succeeded her father, who's King Tuhetihi. King Tuhetihi. That's her. That's the new queen.
Okay.
Following an elaborate ceremony and emotional rites. Okay, emotional rites. This unexpected choice is seen as a symbol of change and renewal for the indigenous community as they face modern challenges such as AI, genetic modification. She's not using AI.
No, not at all.
Okay. She's got grass on her head and she's got like a seaweed cloak or something. And there's some fur. There's no fucking AI going on there.
No,
so don't worry about that.
This is her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queen Ngawaihono Itepopaki is the 8th Maori monarch and the 2nd queen succeeding her grandmother. She's known for her studies in Maori language and customary law. Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Okay.
At least she knows Maori language and customary law. She was going to be the queen.
Very important.
Right. I mean, if you studied it, I'd say, what a waste of time. Because you're not going to be the Maori queen, but for her, good. Okay, she's also been teaching performing arts to children. So she can carry on, because mostly being a royal these days is pretending.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Let us bring in our guest for this morning. I'm very excited to meet Brendon Peel. He is a multi-award-winning performer and an internationally recognized rising star in the art of magic and illusion. His performances have been witnessed by millions of people all over the world. He's been on Britain's Got Talent. He wowed the judges and even ended up making Britain's Got Talent history as one of the craziest acts ever seen on the show. He's also known for starring in Travel Channel's brand new TV show Magic Caught on Camera, where he featured alongside some of the top magicians in the world. Brendon, nice to see you.
Hello, yes. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
it's a
great
pleasure,
to be here.
man. You just poof, you were just suddenly there.
Yeah, no, it's magic. I've been working on it.
So how did you get into this?
So, I started off quite young. I'm originally from PE, or now known Quebec.
So you had to have something.
Yeah.
If you in PE,
It makes sense.
you're never going to get gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well,
So
yeah, and magic doesn't always help, but there we go.
Yeah, it does.
No, it actually does. Yeah, but so I guess it's just a little passion of mine that sort
Not
of
a little passion, dude.
Well, okay,
you're
well, it's
international
huge, it's a
now.
huge
You're
passion.
doing phenomenally. I
No,
mean,
thank
listen,
you.
Britain's Got Talent. I mean, millions of people all over the world would have seen you.
Yeah. Okay. So now obviously it's a huge passion, but it started as like just something just to do for fun, like some card tricks and things like that. And then, next thing you know, it's one thing led to another. I did the Grahamstown National Arts Festival. I actually met you there the one year. You probably don't. Yeah, no, of course. I did many,
By the way,
many
there are a
shows
couple
there.
of people in the comments who listen to the show every morning who say that they know you.
Yeah.
And they've known you for a long time and that you're an amazing guy. So I want to just find out from you quickly, because I think for most people, the kind of burning question is, because there could be someone whose kid or they themselves are sitting at home going, I'd really love to be able to do that stuff. And they've seen people like you do it professionally and you do it so well. It's so easy for you. But they wonder how hard it is to get to that level.
Yeah, so I think, not just in magic, but I think in anything, if you really apply yourself, I know it might sound a bit cliche, but if you do apply yourself, I think you can really achieve anything. So I would say that obviously it's a lot of sort of hard work, but there is also elements of sort of luck that are involved. So
like not sawing the woman in half.
Yeah. So actually,
that's quite lucky. You don't want to go to jail for sawing the fucking woman in half.
Not again.
There goes that trick.
No, my last assistant, I left her in pieces.
And she goes, and then she gets into the box, and then suddenly, like there's blood and
no, it does happen.
Terrible. I've been to one of those shows before.
But so actually, I was on, obviously how I did a performance with Lee Lau, who's an escape artist. That's how we went on. We were both on Britain's Got Talent. It's a thing with a crossbow, and I'm solving Rubik's cubes, and he's escaping from a chair with the crossbow aimed at him. And so, sort of in my sort of world here, the little bit of luck that actually occurred. Well, in the time it was bad luck, but actually a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, it did go wrong. All right. And he did actually get shot in the head with a crossbow.
Jesus
it was
Christ.
big news at the time. Now, we just laugh about it now, but
he's not brain damaged.
But funny enough,
you mean he's not brain damaged?
Well, he was before he got shot in the head, probably as well. But
wow,
no, he did survive.
I mean, the stakes are high, Brendon.
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy actually. Now that I think about it, but ultimately the news sort of went around. And just so happens one of the producers of Britain's Got Talent saw it and thought,
this is a killer show.
Yeah, quite literally, yeah. So they thought.
So do you two? Obviously, in that situation, you worked as a duo, but you do a lot of stuff entirely on your own.
Yes, So we work together, and we both also then have our own thing. I actually do a lot of headlining on cruise ships these days.
That's very good.
It's actually really fun. I'm actually leaving today.
Where are you off to?
Scotland.
Wow.
I join in Edinburgh, and then I go. I'm actually gone for a little while now, going to Japan, Australia. I've never been that side. Well, I've been to Australia, but not Japan or Taiwan and stuff.
But hang on, let's just go back a little bit. So when you start as a kid, and because obviously you said it began young, and it was like a way to make other people entertained and make them laugh, but it's also a skill.
Yeah, no,
so
definitely.
How does it start? Do you start with card tricks?
Well, I think everyone's journey is slightly different, but I think a lot of magicians start with cards.
Met some people, and you go to dinner or whatever, and they're like, I can do a card trick. And you're like, oh, please.
I know the card you're holding up.
And they never can. You can do it properly. But these fucking people, they do the most boring trick. Is this your card? No. Is this your card?
Yeah.
No. Is this like by the time you get to the end of the pack, you're like, yo, that's my card.
Yeah. No,
like, that wasn't a trick, you moron. Don't these people ruin it for you?
No. You know, I like to see people at least try. It's always fascinating when, you know, sometimes I get people saying, oh, can I show you a trick? And I always say, yes, let's go for it. But then, you know, sometimes it's I guess more basic tricks because, you know, they're not probably as passionate.
Yeah, but it's like
about
when
magic.
some fat guy at a braai says to a comedian, oh, let me tell you a joke.
Yeah.
It's always a shit joke.
Oh, no.
That's where we need your friend with a crossbow.
Yes.
To like take them out.
Yeah, no, that's a different type of braai, I think. But no, but definitely, you know, I like to see people try and sort of, I'm big on promoting the art of magic. So if anyone wants to try or if they want to learn some magic, you know, I always say, come on through, check me out on Facebook.
So did
message me.
Did you study under a wizard? How does it work?
So I had a few actually mentors sort of growing up, but I mainly taught myself. But I did have a little bit of help because obviously in PE there's not much in the way of like magicians.
Anything.
Yeah. I see you're a fan.
You survived.
Do you still have family there?
Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah.
Your magic trick should be to move them out of it. That should be your next magic trick.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, Dad, kazam, kablam, kazoom. Look at that. You're in a house in a better place of the world. Anywhere in the world.
Maybe Kimberley, Maybe
anywhere.
I was just kidding.
No, so on these ships, obviously you're entertaining large and small crowds of people.
Yeah.
People love magic. They love it because it's that. Simpiwe and I are both kind of skeptical about this, but it's the idea that you can be tricked.
Yeah.
It's quite alluring to some people. It frustrates some people, but it's also the fact that there's so much skill involved. It's like you're actually distracting us from what's going on over here with something that's going on over there.
That is probably one of the main skills is to basically, it's called misdirection, which is basically trying to make you look somewhere else when something's happening. You know,
I mean,
elsewhere.
for example, I started a fire in the corner of the studio just now, just to keep everybody distracted. It hasn't distracted any of you, so I can't do any magic. That's how shit I am at magic.
No, I'll teach you a few tricks, man, and just get a crossbow.
What are the always popular and people's favorite things?
You know, it's hard to say because sometimes I have my own favorites. Sometimes, you know, I guess there's crowd favorites.
Yeah, what's the biggest crowd pleaser?
I would say at the end of my show, I do a lottery prediction sort of thing. It involves a whole bunch of people.
Sim's on.
Yes.
She's on.
I need to talk to you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Look, I always say to the people, though, you know, we're just simulating this here, and I say, play the numbers, the predicted numbers there, and you know, if you ever hit the lotto, please remember I want a Lamborghini.
Have they?
Not that I know of. No one's ever contacted me and given me a Lamborghini yet, but hopefully one day. So
wow. I mean,
but yeah, that's sort of
okay. So is there a difference between a magician and these guys who call themselves what's the word?
Mentalist or
mentalists?
illusionist?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Mentalists. What's the difference between those?
So I do get asked that actually quite a bit, but basically all mentalists are magicians, but not all magicians are mentalists, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it's in other words a circle within a circle.
Yeah, mentalism is a branch of magic, and what mentalism is basically magic of the mind. So sort of creating the illusion of getting inside of your head a little bit. So it's all like these sort of mind game things is mentalism, but it's still a genre of magic, you know.
I've met a couple of mentalists. They're all like really smart people, and they can do these incredible shows, and it's very entertaining. But I get annoyed because I don't really know the difference between a mentalist and like one of those old gypsies in a caravan who takes out cards and predicts your future.
Yeah,
because they're both using the same strategy.
So you know,
they're
without
picking up on subconscious stuff that you're doing, and they're putting suggestions there.
Messages.
Yeah,
that's literally it. I mean, without giving too much away. Okay.
Are you sworn to secrecy?
Only to myself and only to the art.
Very culty.
Without giving too much away.
But without giving too much away, you know. So people like these mediums that speak to the other side and stuff like that, and these gypsies that you were just talking about there. A lot of them are using very similar techniques to what a mentalist would do. And so some people do sort of use these sort of magic trick techniques and skills to basically dupe people into believing what they're doing is real. I believe that's wrong. I know Lila, my cohort, my partner there, he also thinks it's wrong. And a lot of guys that I know, magicians, think that's wrong. But some people do it. And, John Edwards is a fraud,
Yeah.
He can't really speak, he's using
the one who
techniques.
says he could talk to dead people.
Yes.
He points to someone in the crowd and he's like, I'm sensing someone's granny. It's you. Your grandmother wants to send you a message about how she says everything's gonna be okay.
Well, that is so generic.
Yeah. But people love it, Sims.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling you I almost got scammed out of 7,000 Rand this morning by someone. That wasn't magic. So if they had the powers of magic, if they had your powers, I probably would have lost the 7,000.
Speaking of which, I need $7,000 if you can help.
Here's my phone. Take my credit card details.
After I snap my fingers.
Just want to stop quickly. Congo Chris says, Brendon is being his usual humble self. He's a world-class magician. Ask him about Penn and Teller.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, we didn't even... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Penn and Teller are two world-class magicians.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world knows them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they did they have this TV show called Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Yes.
Which is about, for the people watching that don't maybe know, it's basically magicians get invited from around the world for the TV show and put on a trick that they sort of invented and try to fool these two guys who have they have 150 years worth of magic knowledge between them.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's incredible what they know. And yeah, myself and Lila, we went on the TV show.
Nice.
We were invited, the only act from the continent that's ever been invited. And we went and we fooled them as well. So we won the trophies and we're going back to Vegas again next year. So yeah, totally forgot about that actually. So,
I'm so glad Chris told us about that because otherwise you would have sat here and not boasted about something that's worthy of,
Mr. Humble.
That's like winning a gold at the Olympics.
If I won the gold, I'd wear it every day and be like, do you see me?
In the world of
Put
magic.
some respect.
Yeah, in the world of magic, that's a gold medal.
It is like our Oscar, we sort of say like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Should have led with that.
Actually, Gareth was just saying so much about what I've done. I assumed you just mentioned that, but no, but that was a really cool experience. And to be there live in Vegas recording and, with the TV set up and stuff, it's live audiences. It's
crazy.
It's actually very intimidating to be on stage and you have this short 5-minute act. And if it messes up,
was that how much pressure there was on the Britain's Got Talent?
Oh, yeah. Funny story. And I don't think I've actually ever told anyone, at least on social media or any public platform about this. But at the time, I actually, this tooth over here is fake. Okay, just for context.
See, magic.
But back
made
then,
a tooth out of nothing.
That was actually a high-speed boat accident that I was in.
Really?
But anyway, we'll
get to that just now. Okay, so your tooth is fake.
Yeah, but at the time, I only had a plate in there. And now I'm solving Rubik's Cubes as fast as I can on stage with high pressure because Simon Cowell, and by the way, they look further than they are on TV. He's about, less than 5 meters away. He's right there.
Really?
And that's Simon Cowell over there. And I'm solving these Rubik's Cubes as fast as I can. And my whole plate, while I'm solving it, I don't know, part of it broke or something. And my whole plate and front tooth fell out in my mouth. Yeah. And now I'm trying to solve this, but I'm also trying to use my tongue to stick my tooth back in.
Oh, talk about pressure.
Yeah, I know. So,
did they see?
I don't think I kept my mouth closed for most of it. And then only before we started chatting to the judges afterwards, I just quickly shoved it back in. But yeah, I was like, oh, please, can it stick back in? Otherwise, it's a whole different trick if at the end of it, I just don't have a front tooth. Because it's very noticeable, if you don't have a front tooth. It's very
How long
noticeable.
ago was this?
I lost my tooth, 2010, I think it was during the World Cup.
A high-speed boating accident?
Well, I was on the back of a boat on my friend's boat in St. Francis Bay. And
nice. We were talking about St.
Oh,
Francis.
beautiful place Bay. Yeah.
Okay.
And we were doing donuts.
You were drunk?
Yeah. Give or take.
And when did you go on Britain's Got Talent?
That was actually, so that's a funny story because it was 2020.
Huh.
And when we were meant to go back for the next sort of rounds, like semi-finals and stuff, that's when South Africa went into like a full lockdown. As we all know, I mean, how many you guys probably have covered so much coronavirus stuff. Sure. I mean, you all know about it. So, you know, so basically we weren't allowed to go back for the sort of subsequent rounds and stuff, but we had our initial auditions recorded in January, where we were supposed to go back in May, but May was then, you know, but then since then, because they really liked our initial act, we were invited to Got Talent All-Stars, which happened, I think it aired last year, actually, 2023.
Nice.
And there we made it to the semi-finals. We just, unfortunately didn't make it to the finals.
Though.
But
like
yeah,
that
it was
deserves serious applause.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, we're lucky to have you here this morning.
No,
Huge
no,
superstar.
it's great to be
This is
here.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Has it ever got you special privileges, either to the front of a queue, someone recognizes you, a girl wants to go home and sleep with you because you did this?
You know, off the top of my head, you know, I will admit that sometimes I don't get recognized like every day or something, but there are times where people do recognize me.
Sure.
I was recognized actually yesterday. The manager of a Vodacom just was like, "Can I get a photo?" Because I'm a magician. And I was like, "Cool." But sometimes at bars and stuff, people want to buy, buy me a drink, and
that's cool.
I say, "Yeah, I'll have Remy Martin." Yeah, just kidding around. I'm cool with brandy and coke.
Can you do tricks naked? I mean, drunk.
That's a different type of magic. Yeah,
Simpiwe, he's gonna make you naked. Is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Can you do magic if you're drunk?
Yeah. So I mean, I went to Rhodes University. So you know, and that's where I built my
learned to do everything drunk.
Yeah, you know, and National Arts Festival, also that side in Grahamstown. I mean, you know how Fest is. I've seen you there wandering around by the Rat and Parrot.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Listen, there's some very talented people at these shows, but like the magic stuff it's entertainment. You can't take it too seriously. You do, because it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
But like the rest of us, if you're going to be skeptical like Simpiwe and I are, just go and enjoy the show or don't go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? The last thing you want is someone sitting there, you didn't really make that card disappear.
I saw it fall on the floor.
Yeah. No, look, there are sometimes, unfortunately, people that do sort of heckle, but luckily not, I would say 99.99% of people just want to enjoy it and go with it.
They're having fun.
But you do get that 0.01%, that one person, not necessarily a guy, who sometimes wants to like chat back or shout out something. But it's also the same with comedians, you know.
Yeah,
like
they have to put up with that.
You know, there's always some people that think they, like,
what's the most difficult trick you've had to pull?
Sure. I mean, it's, some of the card stuff is pretty technical. Even some of the Rubik's Cube stuff, there's a genuine algorithms that you have to learn and memorize. It's not really a trick per se. It's actually just like memorizing these certain algorithms to do it very quickly. So I would say that's tricky. But I would say the biggest sort of thing that is difficult, it's not necessarily always the trick itself, but it's sort of audience management and dealing with people like on a stage, to be able to get them to sort of to help you in the show and make the show good. It does take like people skills, I guess, and
they need to play along, right?
Yeah, in a way,
they have to want to be a part of it.
Yeah, you have to sort of suspend your disbelief, or
Do you have secretly in that bag? Have you hidden Li Lao or whatever his name is? Is he actually going to pop out of that bag next to you? No,
he's actually on his way to Kimberley right now. He would. It would have been awesome for him to be here.
Just pick up the bag in case. Just shake it out in case he's in the bag.
Yeah, no. It's just his head. No. Yeah, he's actually going to perform for the Stormers rugby team tomorrow or today. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we do some cool gigs like that as well, where we're running around and. Yeah, man, it's actually been an incredible life.
On these ships, are the people on them mostly old people?
It depends on the. So I work with different cruise lines. So one of them is Princess Cruises, which they are a bit older. But then I do also Norwegian Cruise Line, which is a huge company.
That's great.
There, it's usually younger. So you do also have to vary your act, because it is different, and also. sometimes it will be 90% American, and sometimes it will be like 90% British. And they're different audiences as well. American and British are, you have to play it differently. They have different styles of humor and stuff. Yeah.
Tell me the truth. Simon Cowell, he's had a lot of plastic surgery.
I don't know him that well.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw.
You gotta see him.
I saw some pictures.
Yeah.
Am I right? I saw some pictures of him. Like Simpiwe, you back me up on this. You don't have to say anything horrible, but let me just let me know if he's had.
Just not once.
Yeah, not once if he's had too much plastic surgery.
To be fair, the last time I saw him, which was a couple years ago, he didn't look like obviously surgeryed up, you know.
But he couldn't open his mouth at all.
Yeah. Well, neither could I because my tooth fell out. But yeah.
Wow, dude. Okay, so this is very interesting. Let's just summarize here. You grew up in PE.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you broke out of there with magic.
Amen.
Which is fantastic. You did tutelage under a wizard. And you learned all these brilliant tricks. It was so good and so impressive that it got you onto major international TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Got you onto Penn and Teller, and you fooled them.
Yeah.
And won.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fantastic, if you ask me. You got the old ladies and old men on the ships.
Come on now.
Are finding it very entertaining. Basically, most of them are like you. They think the cell phone ringing is a trick.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're slightly younger crowd, it's more work.
Yeah.
Simon Cowell has had too much plastic surgery.
Sure.
No comment on the last one, but yeah, the rest is all correct. Yeah, no.
When you do a show like that, do you get to meet the other contestants?
So
spend
I've
time
met
on the set, or you literally in and out?
Look, sometimes it is a bit in and out, but also, you know, we do get to meet a lot of the other people, and I've met some amazing performers, you know, along the way. Some of the guys who've like got golden buzzers, and I'm actually still quite close friends with a lot of them. You know, I don't know if you'd know some of them, but you know, because they're like big in the
in the UK or whatever.
Yeah, in the UK. Yeah. Carl Tomlinson is one. I mean, his video I think has 400 million views.
Really,
it's like one of the top 5 most watched auditions tapes.
Are
and that's
magicians also like vying for social media views?
Oh yes. So you know, it's sort of like anything where the more views you can get, the more you can grow your social media brand, if you will. It does sort of help when you're trying to promote you know, your shows. So hypothetically, if you have like 10 million followers on, you know, Facebook, you could say to the 10 million people, I'm having a show next week, and you will get a decent portion of those people potentially coming to the show.
Well, I'm going to show you some magic. Watch, I'm going to make this cup of yours just rise up. Watch this.
Oh, wow.
God damn it.
Some of my arm is also disappearing. Wow.
We tried. That's the best magic I'm going to be able to do. I'm sorry.
I love it.
Get out of here, James.
I didn't know you could do that, Gareth.
No
I
camera
tricks.
tricks.
Sneak behind and like make the cup float around in the. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, all right. No, listen. I think this is bloody fantastic. How can we see your social media stuff and send more likes and views your way so you can get all this attention? That
my real and my stage name is Brendon Peel. Yeah,
BRENDON PEEL.
Yeah.
And by the way,
That's it,
there's someone here called Carol who says that you actually learned, or you did. She says you studied, you practiced your magic once in her restaurant.
Is that Carol Faree?
Carol Jean, that's what she calls herself.
Carol Jean Faree. Yeah, shout out to
her.
her.
To say Brendon practiced some of his amazing magic in our restaurant when he first started out.
That's where I actually started. It was a spur in PE. So that's actually was the first place I used to go around with a little cup and you know try and do some tricks, and people will like give tips. I mean that's like 2007.
What, like the homeless oak on William Nicol?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. No, except I wasn't probably making as much as him.
I don't know. Hey. All right. Well, you gonna do any tricks for us?
Yeah, we could try something.
Of
I mean,
course.
we can speak
let's see
about
this.
all this stuff.
All right, Sims and I like this. Let's go.
Okay,
what,
cool.
what kind of trick do you want to do?
Let's actually try something with a little bit of the mentalism side.
All right.
Of life, right. So actually, I have an envelope over here.
Okay. Does it have money?
No. But basically, I'm just going to try a few things to test out. Now, inside of here, I keep a book It's actually Grimm's fairy tale book.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you know Grimm's brothers,
of course,
you know, they
all
wrote all
famous
these, all these famous fairy tales. And just, you could just check this out and just make sure that, like, you know, it is a legitimate book. There's not like the same word on every page or whatever the case is, right?
It's legit, y'all.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. All right. And you can trust me. I'm a magician. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to go like this. This is just to warm up a little bit. All right.
Okay.
I'm just going to go like this. And wherever you like, you're just going to say stop. And you're just going to look at that first word and remember it. Right.
Okay, cool.
Wherever you say stop. Okay. Okay. Just whenever you like.
Stop.
Right there. You should. Take a look at the first word. Right.
Got you.
Remember it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And don't mess me around by changing it or anything like that. It's just whatever that word is right now. Yeah. And I'm thinking right now, genuinely, just think of it in your mind. It's the word dirty. Is that correct?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Now I'll tell you what.
Bad girl.
I tell you what. Let's try this one more time. This time we're going to use more than just one word on the page.
It was
again.
dirty, huh?
It was.
Oh my God, you are filthy.
So,
It's a dirty man afterwards.
dirty man. All right. So again, I'm just going to riffle down. Just say stop wherever you like. Basically, right there. Go ahead. This time you're going to actually take the book. All right.
Cool.
Now we used this page earlier, so let's use this other page. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Now I want you to actually even show Gareth as well. Take a look at the page number. In fact, you can say what it is.
Okay, it's 141.
141. Okay. And look at the first line and just remember a word from that line that's maybe a longer word. So not a short word, just like the first couple words.
Okay.
Is there like an interesting, like a longer word somewhere there in that first?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
On that page, 141. Okay, you can close the book. All right. Now, you remember that word, right? Okay, fantastic. And you know, you have that word now burnt in your mind, yes? And did you see the word as well?
Yes.
You both sort of
I
pointed
think
it.
so, yeah. We might have chosen different words.
Okay, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. Is there a B somewhere in that word?
Yes.
Oh, so.
Yeah? There's? Okay.
Yes, there is.
Okay. I tell you what, though, it's quite interesting. You said the page number was
141.
141. That's actually impossible because actually inside this book over here, literally now, it's actually impossible. Because if we go through and find page 141, and you can just verify there, we're going to try and find page 141 over here. You see 100, 102, 103, etc., etc. I'm just flicking through over here. You see over here.
Sir, no.
How?
No.
There's no page 141 because there's a torn out page right over there. Okay, so it's impossible that it was page 141. Now, what's really interesting is you can tell us on that page what was that word.
Broomstick.
Yes.
Broomstick?
Yes, which Simpiwe used to get to work
Broomstick.
She's
now,
a
what's
witch.
interesting is, Simpiwe, if you'd be so kind as to pick up this, because I brought my book in this envelope. Take a look in there right now. There's something in that envelope. Take it out. What is that? This is a page, right? And take a look. There's one word highlighted on that page. What is it?
Broomstick.
That is indeed broomstick. And of course, you can see over here that genuinely that is our page. That is page
and it's exactly the
141
page because you can see the tears
from the book. And there we go. Magic.
See, Simpiwe.
That's your word.
Satan.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, I do destroy my books all the time,
Like-
unfortunately.
like
yeah.
When we went through the book earlier, there was
Yeah.
no torn page.
There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. See, this
Magic.
is magic.
Yeah. No,
Dude,
I have
that's
to fix
amazing.
my book now.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
it.
thanks, eh?
I like this. This being tricked is fun.
Yeah. I mean, I could show you
I
something
As long
else
as
if
you
you
don't
want.
put a crossbow bolt in my head.
Oh, yeah, no.
Otherwise-
I left my crossbow at home today.
I like this.
But yeah. But yeah, no, it's that's the sort of thing that I like doing, and yeah, it's actually something new I'm working on. So I haven't actually ever done that
okay
before.
with that. Sure.
I think that's just
Sure,
a taste
but that's
of what you are. You
amazing.
doing any shows that we can come to here in Joburg?
Not in the immediate future now.
Because you're off to Scotland.
Yeah, off and things like that. But in December again, we'll be doing touring across South Africa and of course Joburg. Yeah, so we'll just organize the venue and things.
Well, that's very cool. So we go check you out on social media in the meantime.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming in this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks so
I
much.
love
for having
that
me.
you fooled Simpiwe and I, and we didn't know how you did.
Yeah.
Like,
It's incredible. This is very, very cool entertainment.
Cool, thanks.
And I wish you well, man. You've already done everything. Like I'm so blown away by the fact you were on Penn and Teller. I mean, that's major.
Yeah, no, it's been such a blessing of a journey, and you know, I've loved every minute of it, and it really is an awesome sort of.
Do musicians? I keep saying. Do magicians have trade unions? Do you have a pension fund?
Oh, God.
And do you retire?
You better fight for it.
Do we
magicians retire, or do they just like carry on doing magic forever?
Look, because it is a passion, you know, I will always be performing magic. You know, it just maybe, hopefully, one day I won't like solely just rely on only having to do it for funds. You know, but even if you know I won, let's just say I did legitimately win the lotto and get 100 million rand or something, I would still continue performing magic because that's what I absolutely just love doing. It's a passion. Yeah,
pretty amazing. All right, so Simpiwe and I are going to bug you for lotto numbers after this.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, you are free to go, man. Thank you so much. And listen, everybody, have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the rugby, which Ben told us about, and do nothing that'll get you a crossbow bolt in the head. That's probably a good place to start. All right. Thank you, Brendon. Thank you, Simpiwe. Most especially, thank you to you. We will see you on Monday at 6 a.m. bright and early. Ciao.
Ik wil naar een warm land, even op vakantie. Lekker bakken in de zon, daarop wil ik garantie. Ik hou van lekker eten, dranken van de vrouwen. Ga ik naar dat landje waar ik zo van ben gaan houden. Ik wil naar een warm land, even op vakantie. Lekker bakken in de zon, daarop wil ik garantie.